Welcome to Real Health. My name is Michael Porter and thank you for tuning in. Now, we all know the body is a well-oiled machine. Not only does it protect itself via the immune system, it's able to heal and regenerate new cells and provide its own energy to keep all systems and processes functioning at their optimum. It is, however, still susceptible to invaders, such as parasites that cause infections that in turn have a negative impact on our health. So our first feature from the Real Health Medicine Cabinet, where the Real Health team tries some of the natural products available on the market, and then we invite experts into the studio to share their opinions on these. We found a natural antibiotic that can help support and fight bacterial, viral, and parasitic infections. But first, we have Dr. Rory Jean-Jacques in the studio to shed more light on parasitic infections and how they can be treated. Rory, nice to have you with us again.
Great to be back.
Great. So now let's talk parasites. What is a parasitic infection?
So a parasite is an organism that lives on or in you.
Okay.
You act as the host.
Right.
And it consumes your nutrients and it basically uses you as a house.
Okay.
About 50 to 60% of the population in South Africa is carrying some form of parasite.
Okay.
So traditionally they've always looked at parasites in a very narrow term, which would be worms,
Yes.
protozoas, amoebas, and things like that as a hoho that you've picked up
Yes.
somewhere, and it's making you sick. But bacteria and viruses could also be classified as a parasite because it's something that's pathogenic. So it does not promote health.
Okay.
But a viral infection like Epstein-Barr virus,
Yes.
certain fungal infections that can be contagious, or something like Candida that overgrows. Okay. But then the more interesting ones that we tend to look at would be things like tick-borne infections,
Okay.
rickettsia,
Yes.
Lyme's disease. Then we start looking at worms like tapeworms, hookworms, and that's normally what we would consider as a parasite.
Yes.
So many people have got parasites and you don't know why. You have such a range of symptoms and you don't know why you're feeling the way that you're feeling.
Yes, yeah.
So some of the most common ones in Africa that we deal with, number one is malaria.
Absolutely, yeah.
Number two is bilharzia.
Okay.
And these are quite serious. Malaria can kill you, as we
Yes,
know.
yeah.
It's one of the biggest killers in the world, okay? Bilharzia, not so much, but it's gonna make you very, very sick. It's a freshwater fluke worm, okay, that you get from fresh water, very more so up in Malawi, from Lake Victoria and Lake Malawi, but you also get it down in South Africa, especially in the warmer climates.
Okay. And that is from something that lives in still water. It's not in rapidly flowing water.
Still water,
Okay.
yes. So we like to go and swim in dams, and
Yes.
sometimes we drink strange water from taps, or food is prepared in a certain way, and now you've contracted something.
Okay.
Bilharzia is a nasty parasite. It causes a range of different symptoms, urinary symptoms that can cause digestive symptoms, blood in the urine, fever, fatigue, anemia, tiredness. There's over 800 different types of hohos that you can get.
Okay, so it's a broad range.
And when I see with my clients, I see people, especially when they travel. They go to Asia, they go to Thailand, they go to different places, and they come back, they were bitten by this fly or something. They're not feeling well. Something is invading your system, and your body is doing naturally what it needs to do.
Okay.
You can get very acute infections, but then you can also get chronic infections. So a lot of people have chronic Lyme's disease, which is a cell wall deficient bacteria that gets transmitted by ticks and fleas.
Okay, so it's a tick bite fever.
Tick bite fever.
Okay, yeah.
And then, yes, you could be treated with antibiotics, but it can stay chronic for a long period of time.
Yes.
And I think going forward, there's going to be a lot more focus on these hohos that we contract.
Yes.
The easiest place that we get them is, number one, from other people. And Lyme's and rickettsia and stuff like that can be transferred through saliva and blood. So things like bilharzia and malaria are not contagious.
Right. Okay.
You know, that's something that's
because they are purely transmitted through another living organism, an insect of some
Exactly.
kind.
It would only be like maybe blood or needles or something
Yes.
like that. But
Okay.
you know, so if your partner had bilharzia or malaria, you can't get it from them.
Okay, cool. And then prevention habits and things like that. What can we do to avoid getting a parasite? Obviously, from a malaria perspective.
So some malaria areas would obviously be, you know, things that you would put on to prevent it. You know, it would be mosquito nets and things like that. With bilharzia, you need to be very careful of swimming in strange waterways and things like that, and walking through waterways because it can come through your skin.
Yes.
But if you're looking for your general types of parasites like worms and bacteria and a range of other things, and other types of amoebas and weird and wonderful things that can give you diarrhea, and dysentery and vomiting, you want to avoid things like oysters,
Okay.
sprouts, sushi,
Okay.
biltong,
Yeah.
pork. especially uncooked pork, has
Yes.
a range of parasites that come
Okay.
with it. So that's something that you want to be very, very careful of, and they carry such a range of hohos.
Yeah, and it's basically all the things you've mentioned are uncooked things.
Uncooked
So
things,
especially
exactly.
meat products that are uncooked carry a risk.
You need to be very, very careful.
Okay.
Yeah.
And vegetables and fruit and things like that, I mean, we all taught to wash them before
Yes.
using them. So is that just a way to avoid getting any sort of parasite? That
So
might
you never
exist?
know what your food has been, what fertilizer they've used,
Yeah.
what animals it's come from. Has it come from pigs, horses, humans?
Yeah,
Human
yeah.
feces. And that's now going to be on your food. And there's a whole range of different parasites and bacterial things that, you just, digestion is off, you're getting diarrhea, bloating, cramping, unexplained weight loss, anemia, tiredness, can't sleep at night, grinding of your teeth, skin outbreaks, rashes,
Yeah.
Chronic itching, a rectal itching in the nose, the ears, and these symptoms can be so unrelated.
Yes.
Because certain different types of parasites can create a range of different things. This is why it's so important to, number one, avoid these foods, and number two, look at doing various types of parasitic herbal cleansers.
Okay.
So simple things that you can do at home are pumpkin seeds,
Okay.
garlic, apple
Yes.
cider vinegar,
Right.
papaya seeds, cloves, cinnamon, ginger.
What's in the seeds? Sorry, just going back to the seeds. What's in the seeds that make them
So the
useful?
papaya seeds and the pumpkin seeds have got specific anti-parasitic and anti-worm
Okay.
compounds in them
Yes.
that kill the parasites or paralyze them and allow them just to clear out of the system.
Okay, fantastic.
And then there are other types of herbs which you can supplement, which we've always known about: wormwood,
Yes.
black walnut, and clove extract. Those are the most common ones that we deal with, and they deal with a wide range of parasites.
Okay, fantastic. And then obviously things like just keeping your hands clean, washing, keeping hygiene in general.
Hygiene is so important.
Yeah.
Animals in your environment, you want to make sure that you're not interacting with your animals in weird ways, because a lot of
Yes.
people let their dogs and their cats
their faces
lick their
and-
faces and all sorts of stuff. And there's weird things that you can get from cats, as Toxoplasma gondii, which can cause
Okay.
birth defects.
Sounds lovely.
It sounds phenomenal, right? So those types of things. And also you need to realize that these animals also have ticks and fleas that can
Carry
jump on you
additional
and
parasites.
carry different types of things, and when they bite you, that gets transferred to you.
Okay.
Malaria comes through the mosquito.
Yes,
So it gets transferred via these different vectors.
I suppose also it's about informing yourself. If you are traveling internationally, what is a malaria area? Where is there
Yes.
a risk? If you're going, you mentioned water.
Yes.
If you're going traveling where water is not known to be pure, take some bottled water or use bottled water. Whatever it might be, just
Absolutely.
to
I
avoid.
mean, people that come back from India and all these, China and a lot of these places, they come back with stuff.
Yes.
And we test them, and I say, you've got a parasite,
Yeah.
and this is what we treat them for.
Okay.
And it's extremely underrated sabotage of health.
Absolutely. Well, Lamaria 6X from NeoGenesis is an advanced super potent infection support that's formulated to assist in treating parasitic infections. The Real Health team tried it out and added it to the Real Health medicine cabinet. And Rory's here to tell us a little bit more about it. So Rory, you mentioned a list of things that naturally we can use to fight parasites.
Yes.
What is in Lamaria that can help do that?
So this Lamaria is Lamaria 6X. It's 6 times stronger than our original Lamaria, which is
Okay.
our top-selling anti-infection support with practitioners for a wide range of infection, from
Okay.
bacterial, viral, parasitic, and it's an extremely strong extract of Chinese wormwood.
Okay.
Call it Artemisia annua.
Yes.
This specific strain was hybridized to actually be used as a treatment for malaria up in Africa.
Okay.
And then they found that they were having phenomenal results in treating bilharzia with it.
Fantastic.
Almost an 80 percentile improvement,
Yes.
which is on par with your prescription treatments.
Okay.
My girlfriend had bilharzia. We didn't know what was wrong with her and was trying to understand what was happening. And I gave her a dose of this. It wasn't even 3 hours, and the lights came back. She's like, I'm feeling so much better.
Yeah.
And then I was like, and then we did proper tests, and I found out she had bilharzia. And
Okay.
2 weeks of treatment, completely clear.
Brilliant.
I've seen it work in the most advanced infections, from bacterial, viral, tooth abscesses.
Okay.
I've had practitioner feedback with them giving it to people for Lyme's disorders
Yeah.
and chronic infections like various forms of rickettsia.
Okay.
People that do stool samples and they found various worms and various types of parasites. They do a course of this, digestion clear, no longer bloating, energy's improved,
Okay.
feeling much better.
Okay.
And even your chronic viral infections like your
Yes.
glandular fevers, Coxsackie,
Okay.
EBV and things like that, seen the phenomenal results. And that Chinese wormwood is so potent. It's grown organically, and it's a
Okay.
very concentrated extract. So it's not just the powdered herb.
So Rory, if I was going into a malaria area and I was taking some sort of prophylaxis, would this be a good supplementary thing to take as
So
well?
if you're using prescription prophylactics, it's definitely something that could be used in conjunction. It's also something that you consider if you know you're traveling to areas where, the food is not so great.
Yes.
India, Asia, and you know that, or you're going up into Africa also where you know that you could be exposed to multiple different types of parasites. This is something that I don't travel without no matter where I go, whether it's Europe or up in Africa, and that will stop any type of digestive issues, vomiting, viral flus, those types of things. So it's definitely something that you can consider as part of that as a preventative.
Yes.
So if anything comes into your system, it's going to get nailed immediately.
Brilliant, excellent. Rory, thank you so much for joining us today. It's been a really fascinating discussion.
It's been awesome. Thanks so much.
Thanks.